Hi everyone, in my last video I was talking about continuously misplacing things. It's a very common behaviour for people with ADHD. And as I said, as a kid that's not so bad, you misplace something, you lose something, it's devastating, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important if I'm being harsh. But as an adult, if you lose things like your credit card, your phone and so on and so forth, that can have a bigger issue ahead of it. So if you hadn't seen that, you should check it out. And if you like what I'm about to talk about in this video, which will be poor organization skills, then please follow, leave a like, comment, questions in the comments, requests in the comments, repost and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There we are. Now let's get into it. Right, so poor organization skills. Now if you're someone with ADHD, you know where this is going. I personally suck at organization. I try, and it's funny because in a couple of videos now I've said routines can be really helpful for people with ADHD, and I know routine sounds like organization, but there is a difference. Now the problem with people with ADHD, they may have problem sort of processing like temporary information. So things like directions and homework are two examples that I can think of. One of which, now if I talk about directions, that's the thing, I drive, so if people were to give me directions, like, to a place, so they said, oh, what you gotta do is you gotta turn left, then right, then left, 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 right, right, whatever, it's not gonna work. It just won't. Instantly after the first 3 directions they give me, I'm like, sorry, I can't, I will forget that, or I just won't retain it, rather, is a good way of putting it. And so when it comes to directions, I basically have to go there myself once, twice, maybe 3 times at most, and it gets stuck in my head, but only then when I physically have gone there. If someone were to tell me, it's not going to work. So, although I also do know people with ADHD who struggle with directions in general, even when they've been somewhere, it's just they get turned around really easily, and in some cases find it hard to differentiate between right and left. I do it, or I practice doing it by doing this. Yeah, so basically with your left hand you do this, and that looks like an L. L for left. This is the left side. But that's one of them. But then when it comes to homework, that's more of an issue when you're a kid. And when it came to homework, I always found it difficult to actually get around to doing it, to then doing it, to then staying motivated while I complete it, and to get it in on time. Now, part of that problem when it comes to organization skills, people with ADHD also find it hard to stay motivated when they're on a task, and may very easily abandon a task part way through, which can be very frustrating. And also one of the reasons why I think in terms of the educational system, they should probably try and tweak it a little bit. I'm just saying in general, not just for people with ADHD and autism, because there are parts of it that just don't really work so well nowadays. And if you want, I'll put a whole video about the educational system up like a little later, because I do want to also start talking about just some things that I think or I feel, or my opinions on things, if anyone's interested, and you can put yours in the comments because I like the back and forth. So yeah, poor organization. A lot of it comes down to things like executive memory, executive functioning and such in the brain. A lot of what happens with ADHD comes down to that, but in different ways. And like I said, most of it is processing information, or the idea of, I've said in a previous video, people with ADHD are more often suited to looking for sort of short-term rewards rather than long-term rewards. And because of that, it can make it really difficult planning for the future. So imagine you're a kid with an ADHD, unless you are a kid with ADHD, or a teenager, and someone says to you, what do you want to do for the future? You may have an idea of what you want to do, but you don't understand the steps, or rather you find it hard to wrap your mind around the steps, because what you're thinking is, when I'm 20-something, I want to be this. But there's more to it than that. And that's where part of the difficulty comes in for people who are planning for the future. So something else that I think they should probably work on, like careers advisors, they should probably work on that with people with ADHD and autism more, just because I think they need more help understanding it. But yeah, so organization skills, it's just mostly due to the fact that your brain struggles to process the information in a certain way, as opposed to a neurotypical person. Now, like I said, routines are really good for people with ADHD and autism because it kind of gives you something strict to follow, something you understand step by step, which is very helpful in terms of mentally, really. And yeah, but once you got that in place and you follow it, things can be a lot less stressful. And it kind of ties in with autism if you have autism as well. However, breaking away from that routine, or if something unexpected breaks you away from that routine, that can be a bit jarring, but I'll talk about that in a later video as well. Anyway, so I think that's the gist of organizational skills. Basically, they're just pretty poor with people with ADHD, but as usual, there are ways around it, or to maintain it, or to manage it is a better word. That, again, comes down to you as an individual, what works best for you. I will do a video on things that work best for me, and, you know, maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, maybe you can take some of that away as a part of as for advice for your daily life, or you can impart some of your own advice in the comments. Both are welcome. So yeah, now I think in my next video, sorry, I hit that on the radiator, that was my bad. Anyway, so next I'm going to talk about zoning out, and I mean specifically during like conversations and things like that, because that's a big thing. Again, these most recent behaviours are mostly linked to your attention issues if you have ADHD. But yeah, so zoning out, big one. I'm probably going to mostly talk about my experiences in school, and I haven't like all the time. It happens lots of time now as well. Anyway, so if you're interested in seeing that and you want to see more, then please follow, leave a like, comment, questions in the comments, requests in the comments, reposts, and subscribe, just because it's very, very helpful. Now I'm looking to make some sort of following, or I don't know, headway the right word with these videos, you know, some influence and stuff, because I really feel like it's needed. A push is needed in terms of not just awareness, but advice and help and all those ultimately good things. So again, if you're interested, as I said, follow, like, comment, questions and comments, requests, reposts, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye.